very soon there's going to be protests like the Yellow Vest protests over in France, in Australia, and what the protests will be about will be austerity, because public debt's going to be that high, they're going to tax everyone to the hilt, and also against the bail-in, where they're going to take our money from our bank accounts to keep their banking system going, which if they need to take our money out, well, hasn't it failed? But they won't let it fail. They're going to steal our money. Now, people are not going to be happy. And they've been planning this for a long time, and they've been bringing in laws incrementally in preparation for those protests. Now, here's one of those laws they brought in. Victoria plans terror law changes as Melbourne CBD gets permanent bollards they've planted as well. They're not bollards. They're big concrete blocks at strategic points around the city, transport hubs, that sort of thing, where they know the protests are going to be concentrated, and these are to inhibit Crown movement. They also introduced new laws in New South Wales that, of course, if they're in New South Wales, they're in some way or another, some form or other in all the other states. New South Wales government passes law to tear down homeless camp in Martin Place. That's fair enough. Bill authorises police to remove people from Crown land if Minister deems there is a public safety issue, and that's what they will be doing. This Martin Place, that was definitely a staged event. There's no way after the third or fourth tent had gone up in Martin Place, right outside the Reserve Bank, the council rangers would have moved them straight away. Now, they let this camp get as big as it was, and again, they used the emotion of the people. Everyone was getting pissed off with it. Now we have to do something. Problem, reaction, solution, a new law. Now, here's the latest one. Send in the vegans. This is what I think they're about. They're about deterring people. You got the back-end law where police are going to be moving people on. Now, that can get a bit ugly. You could have some... Well, they're going to censor social media, but they certainly... Video of violent police isn't good PR for them at all. They don't want anyone seeing that. So they want to limit the number of people that are going to go to these protests, as well as inhibiting their movement, that sort of thing. And this is what I think this is about. Now, if we have a quick look at their ABN here, they come under Aussie Farms Inc. And ABN status, they started from 2013, but 5 years later, for some reason, they've suddenly been registered for the GST. They see an influx of money or some kind of activities that they're going to be doing to require sort of money and more sort of a commercial approach. Anyway, as always, they always go for the emotional angle. Now, these farmers aren't in on it, but they were targeted by the staged event runners, which is the vegans in this instance. They sort of will be making quite a bit of money out of this. Now, goat farmers less shaken after vegan protest. Again, it's all about emotion to get in laws that are unfounded. Now, of course, that was the first stage. Remember, they were just going to the farms, and we saw the video, and it was across all media, radio, print, TV. You kind of know something's going on when all of them latch onto it, and it's all very emotional. Now, of course, it's moved into block busy Melbourne intersection, target Sydney, Brisbane and Hobart. Oh, we're no longer on the farms anymore. Well, there you go. Militant vegan protests have been dragged kicking and screaming from Melbourne CBD by police in heated scenes. And here they are. They seem to have a bit more money, as I was saying. They've got thrifty vans they've hired. They've got these signs. They've got plenty of time off any jobs that they may or may not have. They might not need them. They just seem to be a lot more active and seem to be flush with cash right at this point in time. Now, of course, in response to, now that it's gone into the city, it's people are hiring motion from the farmers, something has to be done. Trespass laws could change after Vegan Activists National Day of Action. And here is Christian Porter saying, I suggest all jurisdictions consider increasing penalties for criminal trespass. See, normal trespass laws are pretty light. So they want to, okay, so they've said that they're about farms. Well, of course, to say they actually did bring in these laws for the vegans, well, then they're just going to go to the wholesaler. They're going to go to the supermarket, wherever there's meat. So, look, we're going to have to make these laws a bit more expansive, just in case that happens. So, obviously, it's not going to be about farms. It's going to be in the city, trespassing in the city. And he says down there that the outcome of causing commercial damage to they've got relevant agricultural enterprise. Well, that could mean also any commercial business they could expand that to and apply it to, which is what they'll be doing. And they will also be certainly applying it to government buildings. Well, they won't exclude government buildings. In fact, they'll probably be able to designate spaces and call them, you can't trespass during these times or whatever, and apply these increased penalties for criminal trespass. But like I said, it's all about deter, and Christian Porter even says there, beef up state laws and enforcement to deter more massive scale demonstrations. What, you think there might be some, Christian? Yes, well, I reckon a good way to deter these vegans, anyway, would be to say charge them, invoice them for the police, like they did with Milo Yiannopoulos, and I think they've attempted to do it, or they've stopped protests by threatening to protest they don't want. So, well, they can now bill the vegans. They seem to have plenty of money, got thrifty trucks of people everywhere and signs and whatever. Well, let's just do that, eh? Oh, no. Victorian Premier Daniel Andrews, son of a beef farmer. Oh, he's got credibility. Criticised the protesters. Great. But said it was not worth pursuing them for policing costs. Oh, well, that seals it for me. You know, if they really wanted to deter them, they would charge them this time and then they wouldn't come back. But they may need to use them again to just beef up these laws. So we might not be done with these vegan protesters yet. They might chuck on a couple more staged protest events that are basically fake and phony. And look, just on the amount of money that they got, when you look at what their donor base could possibly be, because you've got all the big charities and people pretty much exhaust their what they can give away on, you know, the Smith family or the Salvos, St Vincent de Paul, Red Cross, all those sort of bigger charities to deal with people, cancer, all that sort of thing. This is about animals, and most people eat meat. So their donor base would be quite small. Yet suddenly they've just burst onto the scene. They're now GST ready to go. Where are they getting their money from? Yeah, okay, well, that's it for this one. That's what I think they're about. There's just another state sign up for these laws, all brought in on emotion to beef up trespass laws, which at the moment are quite weak. Now, just before I do finish up, I'm going to get to all those comments on the Max Egan video. It really stirred up some debate, I will say. And look, people have invested a lot of time doing those comments. I can see they've really taken time to express themselves. So I'm going to get to those comments. And also, look, sometimes you just see signs and indications of what might be coming up next. I've been to quite a prominent truthers channel quite regularly, and just lately I saw a video, and I think to watch for, they haven't introduced anti-Semite laws in Australia yet. They're in Europe, but watch for a couple of staged events against a particular religion. I've just given it up, but I'm not going to say it. It's the J word there. Say their religious places that they go to, their worship, or even just some people. There'll be something quite visible, and it'll be emotional, and it'll be traced back to something someone said on social media. These hate speech laws must include anti-Semitism. So watch out for that. All right, that's it for this one.